Thank you for coming back to this series of Make India Great Again, a slogan that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave on the 13th of February in the White House press conference in Washington, D.C. And I am saying that what he said, Make India Great Again, is actually God's will. How do we make India great again is what we are going to be discussing. But make India great again means that India was already once a great civilization. It is declining. And why is it declining? And what must be done to make it great again is what this short series of videos is discussing. I've discussed these issues in many of my 27 books, and particularly the book that we are releasing in April is this one, The Bible and the Making of Modern India. What this book explains, which I began in the first video in this series, is that the idea of nation comes from the Bible. What the Bible in Genesis 10:11 teaches us that empire is a diabolical, satanic idea. Nation is God's idea. The people in Babel are building an imperial city. Babel is an imperial city because an empire means wars. If you're building a skyscraper, a pyramid, 20,000 young people are involved in that. How do you feed them? You can't grow enough food in a city. So you send your young people to the countryside where there are 5 brothers growing corn, 5 brothers growing vegetables, or producing milk, looking after cows and goats and producing milk, and you rob them. So city begins as an imperial structure which exploits the countryside. That's the meaning of the city. City is an unjust exploitative economic system. The village people are coming to get any permit, any license, resolve any court cases. The lawyers, the judges, the doctors, the dentists, the merchants who are looting their money. That's why countryside is poor, because it is exploited. Although they are the primary wealth producers, it is exploited, and the city, some of the people in the city are doing meaningless things like building this statue, this idol, this temple, or whatever, monument. They are doing unproductive things, but they are living off the wealth created and produced by the countryside. So God destroys Babel, the tower they're building, confuses their language so they are dispersed into the countryside. And that's how nations are born, nations that speak different languages. Nations are born by destroying the empire, imperial city. Now, Roman Empire means Rome is a city which becomes an empire because the city by definition has lots of people, so it has human power, and those people are mobilized to loot other people, their neighbors. So imperialism is a dirty word because it is satanic idea of exploiting others who are creating wealth. Nation becomes a great nation by building its own resources, not looting others, but through its work ethic that transforms the nation into a land flowing with milk and honey, which is the call to Abraham, that Abraham will become a great nation, a land flowing with milk and honey. So we will talk about the work ethic, we will talk about education, because Abraham will become a great nation not by looting others, but by educating his own children. so that they become productive, they become creative, their latent skills are developed. So let me just focus in this second episode on that part, that Abraham will become a great nation not by looting other nations, not by becoming an empire, but by building up its own people. The Bible says that the true wealth of a nation is not just in its land, in its rivers, in its forests, in its soil, or under the soil in petroleum or gold or silver or diamonds. Those are natural resources which are very useful, the coal or whatever you have, the sun power, whatever you have, these are natural resources that contributes to national wealth. But to harness these natural resources, including digging under the mountains, bringing out the petroleum, for example, or coal, for example. Well, what do you do with the coal? Well, you generate electricity. But who generates electricity? It's young people who have been educated, who have developed their understanding of nature, of physics, of chemistry, of biology and technology, and can harness these natural resources, but not only harness petroleum or gold or diamond, but also a sense of justice, because natural resources can lead to lots of wars. The powerful gangsters would kill each other to control diamond mines or gold mines. But that everyone should benefit from the natural resources, that's what Norwegian's sovereign fund, for example, tells us. There's a lot of hydroelectric wealth, natural gas wealth in Norway. So nation controls that wealth because you're drilling it from the ocean, you're selling it, you're making money. But that's creating a sovereign fund which is available for younger people with vision, imagination, creativity to use that money to take the whole society to the next step, the whole world to the next step. So the true wealth of a nation is not in petroleum, is not in gas, is not in diamonds or silver or coal, but in the hearts and minds of the people. That is hidden. That is the latent wealth. Therefore, the book of Proverbs, for example, explains what God has said to Abraham in Genesis 18 and 19, that what is necessary to develop a nation into a great nation is to bring the wealth that is hidden, creativity, intelligence, abilities that is hidden in the heart and minds of the young people, to bring it out. That's the process of education. So the Bible says that with all thy getting, get wisdom. Wisdom is better than gold and silver and diamond and rubies. It's fine to desire all of these things, but the thing that you really need to desire is wisdom, knowledge, understanding. And this is a matter of the spirit. God is saying to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, his descendants, particularly summarized by prophet Isaiah, that God is going to baptize his servant with spirit of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, counsel. This is power, this is might. To have a population that is baptized with the spirit of truth, because they're the ones who are going to be able to use the resources available in their nation to develop the whole nation. And instead of fighting over the diamonds or the petroleum or the control of oil wells, they will make sure that these resources that are developed are distributed equitably, including to help those who cannot do very much because of any mental or physical challenges that they might have. Education that develops the heart, the inner abilities of an individual, which can then use the natural resources through science and technology to create the material wealth and to distribute this wealth with equity, with justice, with righteousness, with fairness. That is what will make a great nation. So education is the key, and in the next episode, I will talk about that if we are to take the slogan that the Prime Minister has given us seriously, to make India a great again, it will require a revolution in education to bring the best out of the young people. So please come back for the third video in this series of Make India Great Again.